Hi, everybody, welcome back, and thank you for being here. Okay, obviously, like everyone else, I wanted to be here and talk to you about Harry and Meghan's appearance at the mental health meeting or event in New York City. A summit, it definitely was not. But anyway, I felt so sick yesterday that eventually my daughter had to take me all the way to our neighboring town to see a doctor. My blood pressure was extremely high, and neither my anti anxiety tablet nor a water pill could or would bring it down. Anyway, eventually my BP came down, and the doctor decided to do a stress test on my heart. And the good news is, she said she would have needed a microscope to find anything wrong. So at this point, we are assuming it is a combination of stress and my severe backache causing the high blood pressure. This morning it is again so low that I'm a little unsteady, but strangely, I would rather deal with that. My face is also still flushed and burning. My ears and lips are burning, and the inside of my hands are red, all speckled and red, regardless of the low blood pressure. So, quite honestly, it is either nerve ends or muscles or indeed stress. Anyway, you don't want to know all of that. You are actually here to hear about the royals and the not so royals. So let's talk about this supposed mental health summit for a while. And I'm afraid, as far as I'm concerned, it was one big sham. Well, at least on the Harkle side, from beginning to end. First, they, and I'm not talking about anybody else, I'm talking about the Harkles, advertised it and still talk about it as the Archwell Foundation Parent Summit, as if it's all put up and put out by Archwell. No, it is not. The event was not arranged by Archwell at all. They were merely an item on the agenda. The event was arranged by Project Healthy Minds. So misinformation numero uno right from the beginning. Then we get to the event itself, and the entire seven vehicle entourage, massive security, hired blacked out vehicles, and bodyguards, all to drive about 700 meters. Yes, out of the hotel parking lot, around the corner, into the venue's parking lot. What a ridiculous, stupid scene, and all for nothing. There were no crowds waiting for them, none. You can actually go check for yourself. And only a handful of photographers, likely all paid to be there. Then the one supposed police vehicle, which tickled me a little. Now, I would not be surprised if it was a prop from a movie set, because we are yet to find one of the stations in New York currently, and I really mean currently, using a Nissan as police vehicle and or one doing VIP escorting. And I mean currently. Now, do you agree with me that the vehicle can or should be classified a police car? It's not an SUV. It did not look like an SUV. Well, with compliments from the New York City Police Department, here is a list of the type of vehicles they use: Chevrolet Impala, Chevrolet Volt, Dodge Charger, Tesla, Ford Crown, Ford Fusion Hybrid, and Ford Police Interceptor sedan. They did, however, use a handful of Nissan Altimas and Toyota Prius, but those have been phased out and replaced over time, and my contact cannot be 100% sure whether there are maybe a handful at smaller satellite stations. But as from April 2023, the New York City Police Department had launched nearly 200 electric cars, Ford Mach E's, in the city and phased out some of their other older vehicles. And which do you think went first? The non-American makes. Although the Nissans they were using were put together in the United States, they are still seen as a foreign product. Anyway, my contact says the markings on the vehicle looks a little off as well. But like he said, it could be one of the older vehicles, maybe one sold off as a prop, or maybe one still stuck somewhere in a garage and pulled out for the 5 minute show because all the other vehicles were already assigned for duty. He does not really know, but he'll try and find out for us. He also said we should take into consideration that cities like New York is under heightened security due to the war in Israel. So it's also possible that because more officers are deployed per shift, that they are drawing on vehicles which may be older but not sold off or destroyed yet. He says it's also possible that the vehicle was just on patrol anyway, or just asked to direct traffic for a minute or two, seeing that the grifters decided on a 7 vehicle entourage instead of just walking around the corner to the venue. I mean, so much for climate change and saving the environment. Anyway, but talking about walking in New York City, someone on Instagram, I can't remember who, actually posted photographs taken in July 2019 of King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima of Netherlands, where they were photographed freely walking and shopping in New York. And only the other day, William went for a run in Central Park. But two minor ex royals need a 7 vehicle entourage. It would actually have been funny if it wasn't so infuriating. Okay, let's talk Meghan's outfit. Almost as ridiculous as their 7 vehicle security entourage. Firstly, the cream or the white of the top or jacket, whatever that thing is, does not match the pants. And the entire outfit could not have been more inappropriate if she tried. Everybody, and I mean everybody there, were in business attire, or at least tried to look respectful or professional, because the subject matter centered around people who lost their children as a result of mental health issues stemming from mainly bullying, online or otherwise. But it appears that Meghan confused the event with one of her award shows. And the hair, oh please, those tassels, strings, pieces of horsetail hanging out everywhere. Goodness, if she was unable to take it up properly, then rather leave it loose. It looked terrible, sloppy, and common. In any event, those rat's tails, extensions, or whatever she has in her head needs a deep clean and a good trim. Then the word salad. Firstly, I do not understand how Harry or Meghan can understand or share in the pain of those parents. Yes, we can all be empathetic or sympathetic, but unless one has walked a mile in someone's shoes or had been trained to deal with such situations, none of us who consider ourselves relatively stable actually have the skills to make a worthwhile contribution. Yes, we can help physically or support by being there for folks in that kind of position. But to sit on a stage giving advice and supposed wisdom, we would likely not do. But not so Harry and Meghan. Oh my word, Meghan's nonsensical word salad was again on full display. My toes actually curled with delight when Harry interrupted one of her word salad monologues and gave a straight answer. Forget about the fact that I did not care much for his answer. At least he made sense. However, the interaction between the two was something else. I caught Megan looking at Harry, or shall we call him this one, like she did. Anyway, looking at him like he is something dragged in by a cat, which is already decomposing. And Harry? Something was not right with Harry during that appearance. Did you guys see how he was staring for long periods of time, looking absent and blank at times? Then I caught him staring daggers into the back of Megan's head as they walked on stage in particular. Look, I may be wrong, but I think the chances are about 98% that I'm not. But guys, I think those two are so sick of each other that they are finding it increasingly difficult to pretend otherwise. And in my opinion, Harry is more sick of and irritated by Meghan than she is of him. If I read them right, I think Meghan just sees him as intellectually inferior to her. Okay, she may think he's dumb, all right? But otherwise, she still has use for him, even if she has to put up with him for a while longer, in my opinion. I also think that Harry looked like he was on a fairly heavy tranquilizer or had partook of a green leafy substance or some other substance with a calming effect shortly before the event. However, saying that, he also looked nervous at one point, wiping his hands on his pants or rubbing his legs. It was rather odd, as Harry is used to public speaking and this kind of event, as not only has he done many of these types of events as a royal, but he also did so for Better Up. So I can only guess it was all due to medication or a substance, or the man was so wound up and irritable with his wife and maybe the circumstances that he could not keep it in or keep it under wraps. Okay, now I have a curious question. If you go onto Project Healthy Minds website, not only will you really see how small fry Harry and Meghan's slot really was, it was basically during the lunch hour, but you will also see that there was a gala at Spring Studios in Tribeca that evening to end off the day's event. Now, please do not tell me Harry and Meghan did not attend the gala. I would be very, very surprised if they didn't. I mean, with a couple of big names in attendance, you think Meghan wouldn't want to be there? Anyway, so where are the photographs? Is Meghan holding back on them or refusing to have theirs released until the next time William or Catherine make the headlines? I mean, she does have a habit of releasing old photographs weeks or even years after an event, or obviously when it suits her. Anyway, just for fun, let's just have a quick price check. Remember, Megan wore a very similar looking Louis Vuitton dress previously. However, this jacket thing was not from Louis Vuitton, although it looks so very similar, but it was from Altuzara, and unfortunately, its price is unknown. But she wore a new necklace, a tiny little thing by Logan Hollowell, costing $4,100. Oh, the insanity. Okay, and before I go, I had a good laugh Did you see Harry and Meghan visiting the Macy Lab school earlier in the day? I have absolutely no idea whatsoever what the 42-year-old Meghan tried to do by wearing a varsity jacket gifted to her by the students of the Robert Clack School in Essex. Please tell me, was she trying to show us how young and hip she is, or trying to look clever? Well, old Pigeon Toe did not look bad. She just looked silly. Anyway, okay, guys, so that was my mouthful. I was hoping to make it much, much shorter and fit in some other things, but it is not going to be. So I'll see you later or tomorrow, and we'll deal with some other news, views, and reviews. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.